Now that fall is in full swing, you may be wondering what to do with your garden. Charlie and Sharon tell us how you can prepare your own garden for fall and beyond in this week's In the Garden.
Charlie, some of your flowers are looking great, like those dahlias over there, spectacular.
Yeah.
Others are going by. And then there are some flowers that are blooming that really shouldn't be blooming this time of year.
Yes, our friend the lilac. We've talked a lot about lilacs because of all the disease on the leaves this year.
Yeah.
But now what you're seeing is that some of them are blooming again.
It's warm.
It's warm, and that's
Yeah.
usually the stress from all the disease on the leaves, and the warmth is causing some of the flower buds to open. So you'll see some with just flowers on the top and no other leaves on the whole bush. Now the bush should survive. It shouldn't be an issue. If you just have a few flowers here and there, I wouldn't worry about it. If a lot of it blooms, then of course you're going to have less flowers in the spring because those buds won't bloom twice.
Well, enjoy them now then.
Exactly. But there are lots of other things you could do in the garden. You can't do much about the lilacs, but you can do some things about your flowers in your garden.
Yeah.
The first thing is that, of course, the new horticultural and gardening rules about cutting back perennial flowers is you don't do it.
Really?
No, you're going to leave all these. So the echinacea, the bee balm, the phlox, the rudbeckias, the salvias, all those plants, especially if they have seed heads on them, they're great plants for the birds.
Oh, okay,
so
nice.
little chickadees and sparrows,
Yeah.
they come in, you'll watch them all fall. They'll just keep eating all the different seeds, seed heads. So leave them for that, and also leave them for beneficial and pollinating insects, because they will overwinter in the stems and in the leaf matter of these plants. If you cut them all out and take all that stuff away, you're removing all the beneficial insects.
Okay.
So now the recommendation is, as long as the plants were like heavily diseased, leave them until the spring, and that's when you would cut them back.
Okay, and if they are diseased, then you want to
If they're really
them.
heavily
Yeah.
diseased, yeah, they're probably a better idea just to
Okay.
do that so it doesn't spread next year.
It probably helps keep the weeds from coming up in the spring too, right?
Yeah, it actually acts as a nice mulch on the soil, and what you can do then is just throw some compost on the top. And that's another nice thing that you can do this time of year, is because we don't have as many things to do, get a load of compost and spread it around your perennial flower gardens and underneath some trees and shrubs too. That's going to be a nice thing to feed the plants, but also cover that soil a little bit. That'll help with that.
Okay.
If you do have some blank areas in your vegetable garden that you've pulled out or you cut back the plants, you make sure you cover that soil. You can use hay or straw or chopped leaves or grass clippings from untreated lawns. Keeping that soil covered in the winter is going to protect it and protect all those microbes that are in the soil, which are really important.
Okay.
And then there are some things you can do for some of your other plants, some of your perennial vegetables like asparagus. So asparagus is probably still green now. If it's starting to turn a little golden, that's fine. Let it stay there and get really gold. Like wait till November, December if you want to cut it back to do it then, because it's, even when it's golden color, it's sending nutrients down into the soil for the crown.
Yeah.
And also, if you've noticed your asparagus spears are getting a little narrower and they're not as tall, you can certainly fertilize them in the spring. But also this time of year, you can add some lime. They like a more chalky soil, as they say in England. And our soils tend to get more acidic with time. So adding some lime this fall is a good idea, because that's going to raise the pH and you'll get a better production from them.
All right.
So there are some things you could do now, some things you just want to enjoy, like the dahlias and the zinnias.